Welcome back to the online sessions on data communications. So in the last session, we have done with the Pure Aloha protocol, deriving the expression for throughput of the Pure Aloha protocol. So we have got the probability of successful transmissions uh, by avoiding the collisions is simply written by using the Poisson distribution. So using the Poisson distribution formula, we have simply derived that formula in the last session, and we have come to a conclusion that it will be written in terms of e power minus 2g. So this is what we have got in the last session, as it going to be like a throughput, that means probability of the transmissions. So that is what the probability of successful transmission is going to be written by this probability of no collisions. We have written this by using Poisson distribution. And this G can be written as equal to G into T, where T is going to be the scheduled time interval of the packet. Okay, as we discussed in the last session, that here we take the scheduled interval in an interval of 2T time periods for a packet to get transmitted. Okay, so here this is what in the case of the Pure Aloha protocol, we have simply taken this time period as 2T. Thereby we have written this this G into T is taken as equal to capital G, and this capital G is something like the number of packets which are newly transmitted plus the number of packets which are retransmitted packets for each and every node. For a single node, this is what the conclusion that we have made for the variable G. So this variable capital G is nothing but the number of packets which is been transmitted, which is a combination of new packet and the retransmitted packets. And the throughput equation we can write as equal to this particular G into the probability of the successful transmission. That means G is going to be the number of packets that we are going to transmit put together in a shared medium with its probability. So this is what the basically equation for throughput. And this capital G is nothing but it can be written as equal to small g into capital T, where small g is nothing but the packet rate of traffic, and the capital T is going to be the time interval for a packet to get transmitted through the shared medium. So this 2T is something like time period used for the transmitted packet, and you can take it as called to be taken as for the retransmitted packet. So therefore we can just take it for 2T. So it is that means here usually if a packet could not be received by the destination station, it won't transmit any broadcasting signal to the sender. Sender waits for a couple of time period. Once again, retransmission takes place. So that means here once again we will be considering it for two time periods there also in that case. So here as a special case, we will take it only for transmissions under successful transmission consideration. So that means if transmission is not successful, that is going to be another condition, other criteria will be considering. But we assume that under all successful transmissions, we'll consider the total time interval is going to be 2T, and we'll simply take the time period as 2T. This is very important. So therefore, we can write this total throughput is nothing but is equal to capital G into e power minus 2G. So this is the expression we have got. Okay, and e power minus 2G is the expression we have got from the Poisson distributions formula. So one should remember that formula. So using that formula, we have represented that. Then to find out the value, what we did, we simply differentiated this throughput with respect to G, and we got this equation. It is in the form of U into V. So UV formula I have. So by just going with UV formula, what we can have e power minus 2G. That means G into differentiation of e power minus 2G. So this I can write as equal to what? Minus 2 into e power minus 2G into G plus e power minus 2G into differentiation of G. It is equal to 1. Okay, now for a maximum value, we equate it to 0. Now once we equate it to 0, we get a relationship for G. So G will be getting it as equal to 1 by 2. Now substitute g is equal to 1 by 2 here in this throughput equation. So therefore I'll be getting here 1 by 2 into e to the power minus 2 into this g in place of g 1 by 2. So 1 by 2, 1 by 2 means 2 will get cancelled. I'll be getting here 1 by 2 into e to the power minus 1. So finally this equation I can write as equal to 1 by 2e. So whose value I can write as equal to 0.184. That means only 18.4% of the shade medium is being utilized for effective throughput in the case of the pure Aloha protocol. This is the conclusion we have made in the previous class. So when you made this conclusion, how much shade medium is not utilized? 81.6% means 100 minus 18.4% of the shade line is not utilized. Means what? 81.6% of the shade line is not been utilized if you really implement this pure Aloha protocol to transmit the packet from source to the destination. Now, what is the another conclusion we have made here in the case of pure Aloha? All the stations have to transmit data with equal lengths. So anyway, Aloha protocol itself is going to transmit data with equal time periods, equal time slots for a transmission to take place. Now the problem is that throughput is very less in the case of the pure Aloha protocol for effective transmissions without collisions. This is the conclusion that we have made. Okay, so if at all we wanted to take the transmissions after collisions this way, that way, all those things, the system is going to become so complex. So therefore, we always consider the throughput without any collisions. So ideally, what is the throughput value we got? 18.4% is going to be the ideal period using which we normally going to use the shade medium. To avoid this problem, to increase the throughput, we go with the slotted Aloha protocol. So in this slotted Aloha protocol, what we have did is something like in the case of the pure Aloha protocol, every packet, whenever every node is having a data packet to transmit, it is simply going to transmit its data packet onto the transmission line. So that means there is no fixed time gap between one packet to the other packet. Whereas in the case of the slotted Aloha protocol, what we will do is something like we normally divide the data frame by 2 and we engage this entire time. That means what? Earlier time period for a packet is going to be from here to here, complete packet time period. That means the length of the packet is going to be more in the pure Aloha protocol, whereas in the case of slotted Aloha protocol, the length of the packet has been halved. That means t has been halved now. So as it is halved now, this entire time period is given for this packet to transmit only. Now in spite of that, means here what happens is sometimes the line is not the line itself is going to have some delay. So that is called delay of propagation of the frame through the shade medium. Now some other time what happens, that the node itself is going to transmit the data after some time delay, not exactly in the same time it is intended to, but it may transmit after some other time delay. So these 2 points, keeping in view of these 2 points, what in the slotted Aloha we are going to do is that we simply divide the total time frame by 2. The length of the time frame in pure Aloha is divided by 2, and the entire time period is simply fixed for this, allotted for this particular node 1 transmission to transmit. Therefore, the node 1 is simply divided, the time period required to transmit node 1 is divided to 2 time slots, 2 fixed time slots. This is what the change that we have simply brought it here. So by doing so, what is going to happen? Let us see. So in doing so, what is that which is going to happen? This time period 2t simply has become halved. So as it has become simply halved, now what happens here? This time period is also going to become halved here. So therefore, here we will be getting the probability of successful transmission is going to be e power minus. This 2 will get cancelled, e power minus gt. So therefore, here this t becomes equal to t by 2 in the case of slotted Aloha protocol. Thereby this 1 by 2 will get cancelled. We get e power minus gt. So therefore, here we get something like g into e power minus g instead of minus 2g. So by doing so, what we get now, definitely throughput is normally going to increase over here. This throughput simply going to become something like sorry, throughput is normally going to get doubled with this decrease in the time period. So that is what which is going to happen here in the case of the sorted Aloha protocol. By this, we improve the throughput. Now, another advantage by virtue of this particular type of the division of time slots, what happens is every time the collision, if at all, is going to take place, the collision, that means let us suppose two other stations, two other nodes or two other terminals want to transmit at the same time. Say imagine that node 1 has transmitted its packet. Now it is traveling on the shared medium. Now after the allotted time slot for node 1 to assume the transmission takes place completely, what happens? Other stations, whichever has got data, say imagine node 2, node 3 has got some data packet to transmit. So immediately, let us assume that the two nodes are going to transmit immediately their data, whatever it is having. Now, the collision is normally going to take place at the beginning of each and every node packet in the case of this slotted Aloha protocol. So that means the detection takes place at the beginning of each and every node. At the beginning of each and every node. So that is what the detection normally takes place at the beginning of transmission of each and every node. So as and when detection is going to take place, what happens? After the allotted time, first packet is going to be 2, second packet is going to be 3. Just immediately that is going to happen. So that means node number 2 will be retransmitted after the time allotted for node 2 to transmit. So after the completion of this entire time period, what happens is this node 2 is once again going to get retransmitted. Node 2 packet. Then after the allotted time period, after the next subsequent time period, node 3 packet is simply going to get transmitted. Because what is important is that when node 2 packet is being transmitted, what is the total time allotted for this? This is the total time allotted for this. But the packet duration has been divided by 2. So in terms of packet duration only, we're going to consider the time duration in terms of packets. So therefore, the time duration has been halved here. So here that means what the collision is going to take place always at the beginning, not at the end or somewhere else. So that the loss is normally going to be very less, and number of collisions that takes place is also going to decrease. So this is what the advantage we get. So that is how we normally going to take the scheduled length is going to be something like this. We can take. So we derive this derivation for throughput. So same as the previous condition, that means we'll be using a Poisson's distribution, assuming that all the nodes are normally going to transmit their data on the shared medium based on the Poisson distribution. So by doing so, the time has been halved here. 2t has become simply t for us. That means t is replaced with simply t by 2. So 2 will get cancelled. We get t here. So therefore, the probability of successful transmission is going to be e power minus gt. Throughput equation is equal to simply gt into e power minus gt will write. So now let us try to find out the maximum throughput value. When you differentiate this, what you will get now? As e power minus g d by dt of this plus g into d by dt of d by dg of e power minus g. So I'll be writing this as minus e power g. Okay. So then after we find out the value, what will be get now? S max becomes equal to 1 by E. So that means this 1 by E is nothing but is equal to 0.368. So when you multiply this with 100, you get a 36.8%. That means simply the throughput has been doubled. By reducing the time slot allotted for each and every frame, the throughput has been simply increased. So key is that the length of the time frame has been reduced in the case of slotted Aloha protocol, and the entire time the entire time that we have used in the entire time that we used for the frame length in the case of pure Aloha is been allotted for that particular station only to transmit. So in doing so, the throughput has been automatically increased by 2 times. So therefore, what is the advantage that we will be getting here? 63.2% of the shade line is not utilized. Earlier, around 81.6% of the shade line is not utilized, but here 63.2% of shade line is not utilized in the case of throughput of the slotted Aloha protocol. So this is the advantage that we normally going to have it here. Okay. So when you draw the comparative statements, comparative graph in terms of throughput for Aloha and slotted Aloha protocol, what is that we can have here? See this at 0.5, we get a maximum throughput. Now the throughput is simply going to increase to 0.368. Throughput is normally increasing here in the case of slotted Aloha protocol. So as the load is going to increase, then definitely throughput is going to decrease. Load means what? The number of stations which are transmitting on the same transmission line at a given time is called is going to be called as a load for me. So this capital G is nothing but load of the system. So as you increase the load, definitely the throughput is normally going to come down because collisions are going to increase and obviously throughput is going to decrease. So throughput is nothing but reception of the packets without collisions. That is maximum number of packets that can be reached the receiver without collisions is called throughput by the shade medium. So this is the greatest advantage which we get over here in the case of this slotted Aloha kind of a protocol. So the key is that reducing the time period of the time frame and allotting, fixing up the time frame which we have used in the pure Aloha for slotted Aloha for transmission of the packet from a particular node. So just by doing that, simply what is that happened now? The throughput has been simply increased. That is the advantage, greatest advantage of the slotted Aloha kind of a protocol. So the next protocol is going to be CSMA protocol called as carrier sense multiple access protocol. We just given a gist of this in the last class. So what we have did in the pure Aloha protocol, the pure Aloha protocol is simply going to transmit the packet whenever the node is having the data. It don't read the condition of the line while the packet will be released by the node. That means before the packet is transmitted by the node won't read the condition of the or don't read the state of the shade medium, whether it is ideal or night ideal. That is not being checked by the Aloha protocols. So only what the Aloha protocol is doing, whenever the Aloha protocol is, whenever the node is having data, the data is simply been transmitted by the Aloha protocol without cross-checking the condition of the other nodes and shade medium. So because of that, collision takes place. So if collision takes place, what will happen? The sender is going to wait for a random amount of time period for acknowledgement. If we don't get the acknowledgement, then the sender is going to retransmit the packet. Here also there is a problem. That means if there is a damage in the shade medium, what will happen? Say the line is blocked. So in that case, continuously the sender is going to retransmit its packets after the random amount of time period without knowing the cause of the problem. So that means what? Unnecessarily a lot of wastage of transmissions is going to take place. Wastage is going to be more, wastage of transmission is going to be more in the case of the pure Aloha protocol. That means what is the limitation of pure Aloha protocol? Pure Aloha protocol is normally used whenever the traffic is going to be very, very less. How much traffic it has to be there? Less than 36% traffic only it is going to really accommodate if you really incorporate slotted Aloha protocol. If the traffic capacity is going to be more than 36%, then definitely it is going to fail. Now to avoid that, to improve throughput still some more extent, we go with the carrier sense multiple access kind of a protocol. So as the name indicates, we discussed earlier like carrier sense multiple access. So every node before it transmits is going to sense the carrier on the shade medium. If at all there is some data packet moving on the shade medium, the current node is not going to transmit its data. It will wait for a time period until the line is simply become ideal. So that is what the carrier sense multiple access protocol. So what is the improvement here we're getting than the Aloha protocol? It is going to be, the improvement is going to be start transmission only if no transmission is ongoing on the shared medium. That is what the improvement we are making in the carrier sense. That means what? What is the meaning of this? Every node is sensing the carrier for the data packet. So that means if there is no data packet moving on the shared medium, then only the node is going to start transmitting its packet on the shared medium. That is what the advantage. Now in this we have two varieties, carrier sense multiple access CD or CA. CD is with collision detection method. So in this, what is the improvement than this? So while the data packet is being transmitted, there is a possibility of collision, because it is not just one node which is really want to share their data on the medium. There are going to be many nodes which want to share their data on the medium. That means what? There is a national highway. On the national highway, many vehicles can move on the national highway. So in that case, there is a possibility of collision. So same scenario here also going to happen in the case of this particular CSMA technique. So what is the improvement in CSMA CD than CSMA? Stop ongoing transmission if a collision is detected. Simple ordinary CSMA, if even though collision takes place, it don't wait. It will simply go on retransmit its packets, because it finds that line is ideal, it transmits all the packets. In CSMA CD, if the because the node has got a capacity to sense. Once a capacity has been given to the node to sense, it can sense the collision also. If the the collision is taken place, then the node is going to wait. The node is not going to transmit its packet. That is the advantage. So the CSMA CD is going to have one more improvement than CSMA technique, where the transmission of the packets are going to get stopped if the collision is detected in between the transmission from the sender node. Then CSMA CA, there is an improvement from CSMA CD. The improvement is simply going to be like it will wait a random time and try again when the carrier is quiet. If still quiet, then it is normally going to transmit. That means it has to avoid the collision to take place. It simply avoids the collision to take place. It will wait a random time and then try again when the carrier is quiet. That means this is normally done by waiting the node after it detects that the line is ideal. That means if the line is ideal, after line is ideal, a particular node is going to wait still a random amount of time. Another random amount of time is simply going to be waited. Okay, and then the data is normally going to get transmitted. That means what? Another window known as contention window is simply maintained, which is nothing but a queue, where every node will simply go into that particular queue known as contention window. So from that window only the data packets are simply going to get released one after the other. So that is what the extension which we're going to have. Now this particular process of CSMA CA is normally done with acknowledgement and request to send, clear to send type of the control signals. So these two are known as the handshaking signals, are known as control signals, using which CSMA CA is normally been implemented. So in this session, we'll try to just give a discussion about this, how we normally going to do. So maximum throughput is achievable by slotted Aloha protocol, which we have concluded. CSMA gives somewhat improved throughput compared to this Aloha protocol by sensing the medium. So it listens to the channel before transmitting a packet. It is normally avoidable collisions. So every station is going to listen to every node is going to listen to the shared medium. The next one is how it is really transmitting its packet. Let us try to see. So how it is simply transmitting here. See here, first packet is anyway, whoever is going to transmit the first packet as first come first serve basis, there won't be any botheration for first packet to transmit. So after the first packet is transmitted, then at the middle of second packet being transmitted, then the terminal 4, this is terminal 1 packet, terminal 2 packet is going to transmit after some stipulated time duration. Then terminal 4 is going to sense the shade medium, and it is going to pre-calculate the time that it should send its packet. Okay, that means a terminal 4 is going to send its packet after terminal 3. That means what is the time delay that it can take, so that the collision is simply going to get avoided. Now, at the middle of the terminal 3, terminal 5 is going to sense, and these two are going to get collided if they are normally going to transmit in this time slot. So therefore, it will pre-calculate terminal 4 and terminal 5 is normally going to pre-calculate the occurrence of collision on the shade medium. They simply going to avoid transmission of their packets in these time slots. Thereby, the collision is simply going to get avoided by the collision mechanism. This is how we normally going to do. That means here handshaking is normally being done. Pre-calculations is normally being done. So handshaking, pre-calculations, and lot of time period is being simply engaged in the handshaking only. So this is what extra overhead. Handshaking overhead is simply going to be there in this particular thing. And also there is going to be some contention window known as buffer window, that is also going to be there, used time slots, because if you think about a slotted aloha protocol, around 63.2% of the shade medium time is wasted. So that time can be utilized here. Okay, for handshaking, okay, for buffering, all these things can be done here in the case of collision mechanism CSMA CA technique. So, and we discussed this, what is basically collision mechanism. Carrier sense multiple access is a medium access control protocol in which node is going to verify the absence of traffic before transmitting the packet. So in this, it simply uses the CSMA kind of a protocol. Okay. So that means here the cable, the shade medium can be a single cable or it can be a optical fiber, right? So like that, we're going to have the shade medium access control protocol. So how it is normally going to transmit CSMA CA? In CSMA CA, if two terminals begin sending a packet at the same time, each packet transmits complete packet. So wasting medium for the entire packet time is simply been avoided. So first step is what is done in CSMA CD. In ordinary CSMA, what happens if two terminals are going to transmit at the same time, collision takes place. In CSMA CD, what is the advantage? If the medium is ideal, then the packet is going to get transmitted. If the medium is busy, then continue to listen until the channel becomes ideal. Then only the packet is going to get transmitted by the node. If the collision is detected during transmission, then it simply ceases the transmission of the further packets by the sending station. So wait a random amount of time period. After it ceases the transmissions, it will wait for an amount of time period and repeats the same algorithm of sensing the medium. Okay, if it is busy, then it will keep on waiting. That means if there is a problem with there is a physical problem in the shade medium, then definitely that has to be rectified. So that can also be rectified in the case of CSMA CA technique. After a couple of trials made by the sender, then what happens? There are going to be some control signals sent by the centralized unit. So after the central control system is going to understand that a particular node after subsequent trials has failed to transmit its data, then it understood that a line itself has got a problem in transmitting data. Then that will be rectified by sending the rectifying person to that particular physical place where the cable can be replaced, and then once again the transmissions are going to take place. So all that backup action is normally being taken by if you really implement a CSMA CA kind of a technique. If you don't CSMA CA technique, what happens? Lot of time is simply being just wasted in the loop without transmitting anything. Okay, even though we use the data to transmit, even though we use the battery, even though we use the packets to transmit, but nothing is going to happen if the line itself is going to become damaged. So that means here The CSMA CA, CSMA CD technique can be supported with a full duplex kind of a communication. So there is going to be half duplex, simplex communication, half duplex communication, and full duplex communication. So in the case of half duplex communication, both the sender and receiver can transmit their packets in their stipulated time. So in that process, this can be done. So that is what another advantage of the CSMA CA kind of a technique. So this is what basically CSMA CA technique, which we have to really bother about to understand. And next one is going to be CSMA CA technique. Now how CSMA CA is simply implemented. Let us see this now. So all the terminals connected to the shade medium listen to the same medium, same shade medium, same as the CSMA CD protocol. Up to here it is same, because both of them has to sense the medium whether it is ideal or not. So that is been done here. So terminal ready to transmit senses the medium. Then next, if medium is busy, now it starts working with its protocol now. It waits until the end of the current transmission. If the line is busy, then the terminal is going to wait until the end of the current transmission. It again waits for an additional predetermined time period known as the distributed interframe space, called DIFS time. Now this is what the extra in the case of the collision avoidance kind of thing. So after the terminal understands or finds that the line is shade medium is simply ideal, after that the same station is going to wait for an additional predetermined time period called as distributed interframe space time period. That means this is simply to uh, adjust for the delay in the transmission lines and delay in the terminals to transmit their packets. So by combining all that, it is simply going to wait some more time period called DIFS time period, called distributed interframe time period, interframe space time period. So after it waits for this, then what happens? Then it picks up the random number of slots from the terminal within a contention window to wait before transmitting its frame. So after this, it simply goes into the contention window. One more window is there here called as a contention window. So the packets are going to get released from the contention window. That means whatever may be the station whichever want to transmit or terminal want to transmit, it has to wait for DIFS time period. After waiting that, it will simply go into the contention window, which is nothing but a queue. First in, what is queue? First in, first out. So it simply goes into the contention queue called contention window queue. Then from that, the packets are simply been placed onto the shade medium. So this much of care will be taken in the case of the CSMA CA kind of a technique. Now, what is the problem which is going to happen now? Once a particular frame or terminal is, once a particular terminal is transmitting its frame, in that same time, if there are transmission by other stations during the same time period, called as a backup time period, then the terminal freezes its internal counter. So what happens is, there could be many terminals on the queue whoever want to transmit their data. Then at the same time, if other terminals are going to have got data to transmit, then the internal timer of the terminals are simply going to get freezed. They won't start. It resumes countdown after other terminals finish their transmissions. That means after the present terminals, whichever is simply going to complete their task, it will wait for the time period. So this is what the care we take in whenever the CSMA CA has to be implemented. That means all these all these handshaking signals, these windowing mechanisms, all this time has been used in the 63.2% of time which we have left in the case of the slotted aloha protocol. So that will be utilized here for effective transmission without collisions. So there are other varieties in this called as one persistent CSMA, P persistent CSMA, and non-persistent CSMA kind of technique. There are varieties of this. So here we just go with this. We just don't bother about those varieties here, but our intention is only to go with the CSMA CA kind of a technique. So let us try to go with a CSMA CA technique, how it is normally going to perform its task. So as I was talking to you, CSMA CA is normally going to sense. Every terminal is going to sense the medium. Say terminal A is going to send a frame. It is been transmitted. At the end of the terminal A frame, terminal B and terminal C is going to sense the medium before it transmits. Then terminal B and terminal C is going to pre-calculate when it has to transmit to avoid the collisions. So it pre-calculates the time by including DIFS time period and contention window time period. It is going to calculate. Then appropriately they are going to transmit their packets on the shade meter. That is what this particular time frame diagram which we are normally going to show it here. So that means after the end of the delay time period B, the terminal B resenses the medium and transmits its frame. So once after it resenses, if it finds that the shade medium is still not ideal, then it won't retransmit their packets. It will wait for a couple of other time periods. Like that, it is simply going to be done with so much of handshaking signals and contention windows. So like this, we normally going to have the communication. So another thing is that two things as I was talking to you now, DIFS time period and contention window. After the passes of DIFS time, that means once a particular terminal finds that the line is ideal, then it waits for DIFS time period. After this will be placed onto the contention window. So from the contention window means what? It is a queue. So after it enters into a queue, then it will be released based on the first come first serve basis. So like that, the frames are simply been used. Frames are simply been released onto the shade medium. So that means by taking care of these many things, the collisions are simply going to get avoided completely. Thereby, the throughput is simply going to increase. So this is what the advantage which we normally going to have in the case of the CSMA CA kind of a technique. Okay. So with this, we'll end up our session with CSMA CA technique. And next session, we just go with a CSMA CA with acknowledgement, CSMA CA with a request to send and request to send control signals. Thank you very much for the today's sessions.